Here's the temperature. Good morning, and welcome to the first of the championship days of the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships from Bethel, Ohio. Some great competition on the way between now and noon as the under 17s and under 19s race for the gold here at the National Championships. I'm Mark Brazell here with Libby Charrington to bring you the races as we go toe-to-toe down the 2,000 meters of water here at Harsha Lake in East Fork State Park in Bethel, Ohio. And I tell you what, it's a little cooler than yesterday, Libby, and I think that'll be good for the rowers.
Oh, good.
We're looking at temperatures beginning today in the upper 70s, a little less humidity than yesterday, and some cloud cover that might provide some super conditions for these championship races. We'll be going up to the start for the women's under 17 singles to begin with. Then it's the men's under 19 quads and so forth and so on throughout the morning. 8-minute centers on these races. So every 8 minutes, a championship race will be coming down the course, and every race is going for the gold. Libby, you are a rower out of Boston University, rowed here in Cincinnati at CJRC, and I imagine you've rowed this course at Harsha Lake a time or two. What do you think about this course?
Well, it was a long time ago, but it's a beautiful course, and it's just a nice stretch straight through. I kind of remember, obviously, the start and that excitement at the start, and then coming out of that cove. And there is kind of that initial, if I remember right, that initial kind of wind hits a little bit when you first come out of that protected area. But then you get the crowd going and the beach is there, and you know that the finish is coming. So it's an exciting course in that way.
Many of the youngsters, young athletes who are competing today will feel that excitement as the first race is underway. The women's under 17 singles in lane 1, Shamina Chico from Parati. Lane 2 is Anna Hodge from Great Miami. Lane 3, Allison Gator-Johnson from Maritime. Lane 4, Sophia Coppola from Row America Rye. Lane 5 is Nadja Yaroshuk from OKC. And Lane 6, Ava Satterfield from Y Quad Cities. We had some fast competition during the semifinals yesterday for these women's singles. Sophia Coppola from Row America Rye was the fast qualifier, and she had almost 11 seconds on the second fastest in her semifinal over Anna Hodge from Great Miami. And Great Miami, another team growing here in Cincinnati. Libby, a lot of rowing in the Cincinnati area.
Yeah, it's really developed a lot just since I was in high school in the 90s. It's amazing how many more clubs there are here. I think when I was rowing, there was just Cincinnati Junior Rowers, which was very strong. And but it's so nice to see so many different crews coming and expanding.
Yeah, the Great Miami, based in Hamilton, Ohio, just to the northeast of Cincinnati, rowing on the Great Miami River, a club that's only been in existence probably, I think, for less than a decade, and they have really been growing the program up there. An early quick start from Maritime's Allison Gator-Johnson as they're in the first 500 of the women's under 17 single final. In lane 4, Sophia Coppola, Row America Rye out front with Allison Gator-Johnson from Maritime, hot on her stern through the first 500. Then a battle between Chico from Parati and Hodge from Great Miami happening on the far side of the course. Lane 1 out towards the center of the lake, and lane 6 will be closest to the beach when they get up here. Right now, 1, 2, 3 in this race is Sophia Coppola from Row America Rye, Allison Gator-Johnson from Maritime, and then it's Anna Hodge from Great Miami. 1, 2, 3, or excuse me, Chico from Parati will be in third with Hodge from Greater Miami in touch with her right there in fourth. So they're out of the cove past the boat ramp up there, and you can see they are really focused on their race cadence here, Libby.
Yeah, they look nice and smooth, nice and clean. That's the key, and especially at the beginning, those crisp, clean finishes and getting out.
And especially before you begin to get a little bit tired and those catches and recoveries are a little less clean.
Yes. I would imagine, especially in a single. I've never raced in a single, but you're by yourself, so I think that's a whole different mental game when you're out there and trying to just kind of mentally get through it all by yourself.
Well, rowing is about teamwork, and you have to team with yourself in a single to really keep your mind in the boat. And as I've commented more than once, I'm primarily a sculler. I don't do a lot of sweeping, but in the sculling, in a single, it really teaches you what you're doing wrong, because a little bit too deep on your port oar, and you're tilting the boat that way. So it really helps you correct some of your errors in your ways.
Absolutely. The smaller the boat, the more you learn, I think.
A nice shot looking up the course here at Harsha Lake as the women's U17 singles final for the national championship on the water here at Harsha Lake. A beautiful day, the sun beginning to peek out from the clouds and really making the colors pop on those unis and oars on the water. They're through the halfway point with Sophia Coppola from Row America Rye, the fastest qualifier in the semifinals. By almost 10 seconds over the second fastest. It's gone out.
I would say at this point, it's especially the middle last 500, but this is the 500 that can be, I think, sometimes the most challenging to get through.
Lindsay Shoup, the gold medal winner in the women's 8 in Beijing, who announced at the Youth Nationals, spoke about that third 500 being so crucial due to the fact that you're beginning to feel the fatigue, but also needing to save that energy for the big push to the end. As you can see, the big orange buoy off to the left side of the screen, that is the mark for 500 meters to go in this championship of the women's U17 singles. Still a battle out in front with Allison Gator-Johnson of Maritime, Sophia Coppola of Row America Rye, and Anna Hodge of Great Miami with Chico from Parati, all right there in contact with each other. Yaroshuk from OKC and Satterfield from Y Quad Cities following them down the course here that will determine the gold medal winner for the national championships for 2019.
This is the exciting part, that last 500, when they really dig in and dig deep and find it and decide, how badly they want it. And they all do, right? So
beginning to feel the crowd behind him, perhaps hear the crowd on the beach. Coming closer, 300 meters from the finish line. Sophia Coppola from Row America Rye in the lead. Battle for second developing between Allison Gator-Johnson of Maritime and Anna Hodge of Great Miami. Hodge from Great Miami beginning to kick up the pace as they enter the final 250 meters. And boy, that feeling when you see those red buoys, Libby, and know that you're that close to the finish line, that really does give you a boost. But you have to remember not to become a little too excited about that finish line because it's still a long way away.
Yeah. And that, just out of the corner of your eye, seeing the other boat, seeing where you are compared to them in that last stretch and just, going after it.
Sophia Coppola from Row America Rye in the lead from the start continues to lead the women's U17 single final championship here at the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships. A battle for the silver between Allison Gator-Johnson of Maritime and Ine. For the gold medal with 30 meters to go, it's Sophia Coppola of Row America Rye winning the gold in the women's U17 single final here at the National Championships.
Wow, she won by several boat lengths.
Very strong performance from Coppola.
That's amazing.
Here comes the battle for second. It looks like Allison Gator-Johnson of Maritime holds off Anna Hodge. And then Yaroshuk and Satterfield crossing the line, as well as Chico from Parati. The first of what will probably be many exciting races here at the National Championships on this Championship Thursday. Don't blink. Every 8 minutes, a championship race coming down the water here at Harsha Lake. The next already through 500 and heading for the 1,000. It's the men's U19 quads. the dragsters of the rowing world. It's Conshohocken B in lane 1, Maritime B in lane 2, Conshohocken in lane 3, Maritime in lane 4, Resilient in lane 5, and Texas Center in lane 6. And I imagine you probably faced this in your career with the Cincinnati Juniors when you have some of your teammates that you're racing in these championship races, and that does bring a different feel to the race.
Absolutely. And you feel that family, that brother sisterhood out there, but at the same time you want to win too.
That's right.
You want to win.
They are still your competition there.
Absolutely.
So 2 boats from Conshohocken, 2 boats from Maritime, and they are all in lanes 1, 2, 3, 4. So side by side, they're each separated by one of their competitors. But what a view here we have of Conshohocken in lane 3, appearing to be leading right now, with the boats from Maritime flanking right there with them, and Conshohocken's B boat out in lane 1, out towards the middle of the lake, sticking with the pack there as well. Resilient and Texas Center in the hunt as they head towards that 1,500-meter mark.
I'm always impressed to watch quads, the sculling, 4 people, keeping everything in sync and together. I think sweep, you've got just single oar, and it's a little different dynamic, but I don't know, something about the quads I've always been so impressed watching.
Conshohocken had the advantage time-wise in the semifinals, winning their first semifinal in 6:28. But Maritime, who won the second semifinal, was just a second or so behind them. But here, as they come down the course, Conshohocken in lane 3 with an open water lead over the rest of the pack. It'll be a battle for the silver and the bronze as they go down the course. Look at the Maritime B boat, Bauman taking a glance over the right shoulder, looking at the competition and seeing where they are on the course as they head down towards the finish line. But what a strong showing from this boat from Conshohocken there in lane 3.
Definitely. It looks like from here already a boat length ahead. Coming out really strong.
Very much see that teamwork and that synchronicity that's happening in that boat. Just seeing those bodies move, the arms move, the oars move all together. Just what a sight to see.
Everyone's, you see rowing and it does, and some people say it looks so effortlessly on the water when they do it, and then of course being in the boat, you know how much grit and what's really going on there, but it looks so beautiful.
Conshohocken in lane 3, the men's under-19 quads coming to the finish line for the gold. Here comes Maritime facing a challenge from Resilient in the final meters of this race. In the meantime, the Conshohocken B boat on the far side in lane 1 trying to keep up with a big push from Maritime B, and here comes Texas Center on the outside as well. But it is Conshohocken in first, Maritime in second, and Resilient for the bronze in the men's under-19 quads. A lot of ground being made up there in those final meters, Libya. I tell you what, these quads can really move, and when they do that sprint in the final couple hundred meters, it's amazing to watch those boats move.
Yeah, they really pick up the pace and just take off.
So Conshohocken winning the men's under-19 quad gold in the national championships with a time of 6:17:24. And very close, just about a second separating Maritime and Resilient for silver and bronze. The silver to Maritime. Back at the start, more sculling. It will be the women's under-19 doubles. They're still in the starting blocks, getting aligned. In lane 1, Gianetti and Sutherland from Row America Rye. In lane 2 will be the OKC's Bino and Lacey. In lane 3, Benedict and Gromick from Potomac. Lane 4 is Saunders and Mask from Y Quad Cities. Lane 5, Valois and Hill from OKC. And in lane 6, Sack and Erlacher from Vesper. The women's under-19 double final just getting underway. You're talking about the start and that adrenaline that you have working at the start. How did you work through keeping yourself calm as you were in that starting block?
Breathing, I think. Just a lot of, you know, calming yourself and kind of centering that energy in a way that so that you have it, you keep it, and use it in the right way, that it doesn't just become jitters and you lose it, but really centering it and then using it to your advantage.
I like your breathing suggestion too. Just breathe.
Just breathe throughout the whole race. Just breathe.
So, well, there is a physicality to rowing, and when it comes to these national championship competitions, there's a lot of it in your mind too. Your mind can work against all that training that you've been doing.
Absolutely. You
Wimmers
can psych yourself out for sure.
get a little distracted. What am I going to have for lunch? No, can't think about that. Just got to think about the catch, the release, the recovery, and do it all over again for 2,000 meters at high speed. Through the breakage area, the women's under 19 doubles in the first 500, settling into their race pace after that start where the butterflies may be happening. It's Y quad cities with the red unis, the white slashes, diagonal slashes on their back, out to an early lead, but Valois and Hill from OKC right next door in lane 5 are right there trying to lead and pull past the Y quad cities boat as they row through the 500-meter mark. It is Valois and Hill from OKC have a quick start, but boy, a big surge. Look at this boat from Potomac. Benedict and Gromick right there in lane 3, beginning to pull up, walking past the boat there from Y Quad Cities, walking past OKC, and walking past Vesper as well. But coming with them is Row America Rise, Gianetti, and Sutherland. So all of a sudden, at the 500-meter mark, a big move for Potomac and for Row America Rise.
It's always interesting to see who decides to take that power 10 or that power 20 to kind of make that move. If you do it at the after this second 500, do you wait till the 1,000? Do you do them a 10 and then another 10? It's always exciting to see kind of the different strategies and what plays out.
Potomac really surging to the front here in the championship for the women's U19 doubles. Remember, youth rowers, this year U.S. Rowing is again partnered with Captain U as its exclusive online athlete recruiting partner, providing rowers with free recruiting profile and resources for rowing in college. The profile allows athletes to publish erg scores, academics, and videos all in one place. Additionally, athletes can connect directly with college rowing programs, receive guidance throughout the recruiting process, and search colleges to find the best fit. Head to CaptainU.com to create your free profile today, or visit the Captain U tent here at the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships. Settling into the championship races all morning long, every 8 minutes. The championship race coming down the water here at Harsha Lake, just outside of Bethel, Ohio, and East Fork State Park. A little east of the Cincinnati area, about a half hour east of Cincinnati. A lot of great rowing has happened on this water and this course over the years. One of the first college championships took place on this water, and it's great to see under 17, under 19 athletes from all across the country and even Sydney, Australia, here competing this week during the national championships. This is kind of two regattas in one, Libby. We're doing the under 19, under 17 championships here over the last couple of days. Tomorrow, the time trials for the seniors and elites begin. So we'll have another day of semifinals on Saturday and finals on Sunday. And really exciting to see all this racing happening here at Harsha.
I'm glad I got to be here for the finals. Those are always a little bit more exciting sometimes than all those heats.
A lot on the line. A lot on the line indeed. 3/4 of the way through the race with Potomac, that big move at 500. They continue to lead. Row America Rye still right there with them, as is the boat from Y-Quad Cities in lane 4. Two of the boats from OKC seem to be battling, one in lane 2, the other in lane 5 as they come into the final portion of the race. Vesper with Sack and Erlacher in lane 6, competing in this championship final for the women's under-19 doubles. You know, the problems with Power 10s early in the race is the end of the race, right, Libby?
Yeah, if you go too early and too soon, then you can kind of die out fast and not make it quite as fast as you wanted to. But it depends. Sometimes then you can dig deep and find another Power 10 and pull it out. I can remember with CJRC, it was that we would kind of stay back and then surge ahead towards the end and kind of take people by surprise.
We'll see how it sorts out for the medals here in the women's under-19 doubles as they are coming into the final portion of the race. Potomac continuing to lead, being pursued by Row America Rye and Y-Quad Cities. Y-Quad Cities, quite a reputation for their sculling skills, so we'll see if they have something up their sleeves as they come into the red buoys, indicating 250 meters to the finish line for the national championship. Potomac with an early move, continuing in the lead. Y-Quad Cities beginning to kick it up, seeing those red buoys. Here they come with Row America Rye's Janetti and Sutherland out there in lane 1, not being left behind at all. In the meantime, it's Vesper, Sack and Erlacher in lane 6, closest to the beach, beginning to pour it on as well and make up some ground with the OKC's Bino and Lacey in lane 2, also cranking it up a notch. Here comes Y-Quad Cities pursuing Potomac down towards the end. Every stroke gaining a little bit of water. Potomac begins to react as they're coming to the finish line for the women's under-19 doubles, the national championship on the line, and it is bow ball to bow ball. Y-Quad Cities may have caught them at the finish. We'll have to wait and see what the results are, but boy, what a showing from Y-Quad Cities and Potomac right there. Here comes the boat from Row America Rye crossing in third. A big push from Vesper. They're going to be fourth with OKC's Bino and Lacey in lane 2 in fifth, and the other OKC boat in lane 5 in sixth. The women's U19 double final. And unofficially, it's Mask and Saunders from Y-Quad Cities with a winning time of 7:32.27. Benedict and Gromick from Potomac are a mere 13 hundredths of a second behind.
That was pretty awesome to watch when they just surge at the end and come out of nowhere. I love that.
And those finishes are sometimes, and I'm sure you know from your experience, it's who has their oar in the water right there at the finish line and really pushing that boat forward.
Yep. That's
Amazing
exciting.
racing. The women's U19 doubles there. We'll see if we have as exciting a finish for the men's U17 doubles. They're on the water and underway with the championship. Seidner and Matthews from Oak Neck Academy are in lane 1. Another Y-Quad Cities boat in lane 2, Wakefield and Wagger. In lane 3 is McNicholas and Bressel from Oak Neck Academy. Lane 4 is Davis and Ward from Conshohocken. In lane 5, it's Jovanovic, Hacken, and Stellick from Utah. And lane 6, Core and Connell from Conshohocken. So 2 Oak Neck Academy, 2 Conshohocken boats in this race here, Libby.
Again, kind of what you talked about earlier with that, it's your teammates, but at the same time, you want to win.
This is going for the gold. There's,
Yep.
We'll be friends after the race, but right now we're racing for gold.
And it speaks highly of those clubs that they have more than one boat in that final.
Yeah, Oak Neck Academy has been having a great showing here at the 2019 USRowing National Championships. Oak Neck Academy, based in Bayville, New York, rowing on Oyster Sound, brought 24 entries this year to the race, and they have been really had a great showing in the semifinals yesterday. We'll see how their boats do here in the national championship final for the men's under 17 doubles. It is McNicholas and Bressel from Oak Neck Academy out front right now with Jovanovic, Hacken, and Stellick from Utah. In lane 5, battling for second, Core and Connell from Conshohocken in lane 6, not letting those two walk away with it. In the meantime, the other Conshohocken boat in lane 4 that was the fast qualifier for this championship final is making their way in 4th. And Y-Quad Cities and the other Oak Neck Academy, a boat pursuing the leaders as they come down the course.
And this is that perfect time if you're in, second or third or even fourth to make that move and surge forward, seeing where you are compared to the rest of the field and making that decision.
Quite a statement from Nick Nicholas and Bressel from Oak Neck Academy. Really powering to the front and continuing to power down the course here. That gives a super placement right there to see how Conshohocken is leading. Oak Neck Academy is leading with Utah and the other Conshohocken boat in lane 6 in second and third right now. But the boats still in close proximity to each other. No one's really walking away with this race yet.
Not yet. Never know.
Well, this crucial third 500 of the race where the fatigue is beginning to, sink in, and you really are focusing to try to keep your mind in the boat. And unlike the singles, you do have a teammate here, and I have commented before about how it's always good about this point of the race for somebody to kind of say something to focus.
Sometimes at this point you can watch crews and they get that kind of that frantic look about them, and they definitely don't have that.
Utah continuing to plow forward too in second right now, with Conshohocken's Core and Connell pursuing in third. Y-Quad Cities and the other boat from Conshohocken in lane 4 trying to catch up with the leaders, but it is quite a study in the art of rowing from McNicholas and Bressel from Oak Neck Academy here in the National Championship for the men's under-17 doubles. Big surge coming up from Conshohocken in lane 6. And look at the Conshohocken boat in lane 4. Davis and Ward beginning to pour it on. It looks like they're coming close to overtaking Utah and perhaps taking second. That would push Utah back. And the Conshohocken boat in lane 6, Accor and Connell pushing hard too. And here they come to the line. It will be the Oak Neck Academy for the gold and coming to the line for the silver. A big push from Accor and Connell from Conshohocken. They're going to get the silver. Utah gets the bronze. The other boat from Conshohocken of Davis and Ward will cross in 4th. Followed by Y Quad Cities and the other Oak Neck Academy boat. What a showing from McNicholas and Bressel of Oak Neck Academy winning the gold. The men's U17 doubles in a time of 6:58.22. A little bit of strategy there, I imagine, Libby, with the Conshohocken boat that came from behind, that was in 3rd place, and then just really poured it on at the end to take the silver. It was a case of sticking to their game plan throughout the course.
Yeah, like I said earlier, kind of when to take that move. CJRC back in the 90s when I rode, we were, that was kind of our thing to wait a little bit longer and then make that big move. And usually it worked.
A view of our regatta venue here at the 2019 U.S. Rowing East Fork State Park that we have here. Beautiful facility, the big white tent in the middle. That will be for the College Fair. The 16th Annual College Fair taking place at this year's National Championships, an opportunity for rising seniors to meet with coaches from over 70 colleges from across the country. The event will be today, Thursday, July 11th, from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., and also tomorrow, July 12th, Friday, July 12th, 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Program office hours will be determined by each school, by the way. You're mentioning a great place to watch the finish here on the beach right there.
Absolutely.
Harsha Lake.
I have the best memories coming down the course and being tired but then hearing the crowd and hearing teammates chanting and it just gets you there, gets you to the finish.
Our next race will be the big boats. It's the women's under-19 eights final. In this race for the gold, it's Saugatuck in lane 1, Row West Racing Camp's B boat in lane 2, the U17 Development Camp in lane 3, Row West Racing Camp's A boat in lane 4, Ready Set Row in lane 5, and TBC Racing in lane 6. And yesterday during the semifinals, we had some very, very fast qualifying in these eights. The U17 Development Camp really dominated their semifinal, and the Row West Racing Camp did too. So it'll be interesting to see the battle between these two programs in this race. And these eights, always great to watch race.
Absolutely. They're always my favorite. It brings back fond memories of CJRC and Boston University, and I mean that's what we did. That was what it was all about, were the eights.
Lining up in the starting dock back in the cove here at Harsha Lake. Nice straight course and a good shot from the drone here to see how the starting dock is tucked back in to this little cove, and there's an area to the right as we're looking right now. To the right is where the dam is, and this is the warm-up area, the cove where there's a warm-up area for the rowers who row down. And so when your athletes are out on the water waiting to race, they're over here to the right of the course, staying out of the way and being able to have warm-ups and stay warm as they prepare for their championship race.
I don't know if it's fond memories of being down there, being nervous and warming up and getting ready, or I mean, or just remembering all those nerves. That's what I remember, that area.
The flag drops and the championship for the women's U19 eights underway. Again, Saugatuck in lane 1, Row West Racing Camp's B-Boat in lane 2, the U17 Development Camp in lane 3, Row West Racing Camp in lane 4, Ready Set Row in lane 5, TBC Racing in lane 6. We'll watch those middle lanes of the U17 Development Camp. Very strong showing in their semifinal yesterday. The Row West Racing Camp in lane 4, they won in better that score today.
Wow, that's fast.
And here's the battle to watch. The U17 Development Camp on the left and that light blue, they'd call it Carolina, very close together. We'll see how they look as they come past the point.
There's such a difference in getting those, eights off the start, and that's a lot of boat and a lot of people to get from a dead stop up and moving, and that's why those starts are so important, and picking that boat up.
Everybody has their own little secret to doing that. Looks like TBC Racing going out early, trying to challenge for the lead in lane 6, but the U17 Development Camp sticking right with them, as is the Row West Racing Camp. And look at these boats. 54 athletes at peak performance right now for the national championships, racing down all within a boat length of each other. The U17 Development Camp out early, but Row West sticking to them like glue. TBC in third right now, being chased down by Ready Set Row. And then it's Saugatuck and the Row West Racing Camp B-Boat.
Those aerial shots are so beautiful with all of them right there together.
You really get a chance to see the effort that's being made as the boats come into closer to the picture. To see that coordination and just to watch the oars in the water, see them recover, flip, catch, pull again. The coxswains coaxing their rowers down the course. TBC still sticking right with that Row West Racing Camp in lane 4. TBC Racing out in lane 6. They'll be closest to the beach. And I think they're threatening for second right now, Libby.
Yes, definitely. That's a hard lane to be in, those outer lanes. Usually the advantage is in the middle, so it's fun to see a lane 6 kind of pull up and take it.
Ready Set Row not being left behind either. They're beginning to move up and walk up on Row West Racing Camp as well. But it is the U17 Development Camp still in the lead, but they're not walking away from it like they did in their semifinal. It's still a close race right now with TBC Racing very determined, still moving forward. Ready Set Row. Row West Racing Camp B and Saugatuck battling in the outside lanes 1 and 2. The U17 Development Camp now being threatened by that TBC Racing boat in lane 6. And it may be that, maybe their coxswain doesn't notice. Well, I'm sure their coxswain does notice. I shouldn't say that. I know their coxswain knows everything that's happening. But TBC on the move right now. Row West Racing Camp beginning to kick it up a notch as well.
This is that section, that you really got to be aware of where all the boats are and who's making their move and go. Make sure you're there and continue to stay up, because they'll take it from you.
Pretty shot of that under 17 Development Camp boat right there. Poetry in motion. Well, about any boat you see in that picture right now is poetry in motion. What an effort by these athletes.
It's good to be strong, and I think that's what makes rowing so great, because it's a sport where, especially with Title IX, where girls and women know it's good to be strong, and you see that right here.
Look at the U17 Development Camp boat, just kicked it into a new gear. Just there, about 30 meters before the red buoys. So about 300 meters from the finish, and the U17 Development Camp beginning to kick it in. Row West America in lane 4, continuing to plow forward and trying to hold on to second with TBC Racing, really giving them a challenge.
Oh, they really pulled ahead.
U17 Development Camp shifting it into overdrive there with 300 meters to go, being pursued by Row West Racing Camp and TBC as they're coming to the line for the national championship for the women's under 19 eights. The U17 Development Camp boat fighting for a 1 boat length lead. Here comes Row West Racing Camp as they come down to the line. TBC trying to surge as well. Here they come to the finish. It is the U17 Development Camp coming across in first. It's going to be Row West Racing Camp for the silver and TBC for the bronze in the women's under 19-8. In the meantime, a battle for fourth place right now with the Row West Racing Camp B boat crossing just ahead of Ready Set Row. And there are those boats followed by Saugatuck in lane 1. The U17 Development Camp shaving 13 seconds off their semifinal performance yesterday, winning the gold in the women's U19 8s at a time of 6:32.50. You thought 6:45 there, and to see even after 1,700 meters, to see the energy and ability that. Now to the fours for the men. The men's under 19 fours national championship final with 3 TBC Racing boats here in this race. TBC Racing A in lane 1, C in lane 2, and B in lane 3. Row America in lane 4, Penn AC in lane 5, and CRI's B boat in lane 6. Row America Rye out to an early lead, it appears. A boat and B boat out trying to pursue Row America Rye right now as they pass the 1,000-meter mark and the halfway point of this race. It was a photo finish in the second of the semifinals for the men's U19 fours yesterday. That photo finish was between TBC Racing B and CRI B, so it will be interesting to see how those boats shake out today. So besides the different number of rowers, what do you see as the biggest difference between the 8s and the 4s? As a rower.
As a rower, the 4, again, you're in that smaller boat, so you feel so much more. I always actually enjoyed rowing in 4s and racing in 4s, kind of watching 8s more race, but I think it's that difference of you feel it. So a 4, so much more so you're going to have much more of a set boat, the rhythm together, the technique, because it's a smaller boat. So the 8, you're together for the most part. You got a lot of power. You can go, but that 4, you're going to have more of that finesse because it's a smaller boat. I think
Row America Rye in the lead here in this championship. Hotly pursued by the TBC Racing B boat, who are facing competition from their teammates, the TBC Racing A boat in lane 1 right now. So 1, 2, 3 in this championship final is Row America Rye, TBC Racing B, and TBC Racing A. Sticking right to the stern of the A boat in lane 2, it's the TBC Racing C boat. So all those teammates in lanes 1, 2, and 3 battling against each other. In the meantime, CRI coming up on the outside in lane 6, but out in front with an open, about a boat length of open water, is the Row America Rye boat in lane 4.
Now they have a nice lead, open water, ideal.
What a shot. So looking down on the top, I love seeing the pooling of the oars, that the oars leave in the water, and also from that overhead shot, a great view of how very much coordinated those boats are.
Definitely. It's important to remember the idea is to pick up the boat and move. You're not necessarily moving oars. You're moving the boat, if that makes sense. That was always I think the best advice given to me mentally to think about that you're kind of plotting them in the water to move the boat rather than moving oars.
One of
If
my
that makes sense.
coaches when I was learning said, think of it as you put your oar in the water and there's a post in the water and you're pulling against that post in the water. You're pulling the boat past that post.
Exactly. Exactly.
Coming to the line for the championship in the men's U19 fours, there is Row America Rye handily winning the gold. In the men's U19 fours, here comes the TBC Racing B boat. They'll take silver with the TBC A boat crossing the line for the bronze. Then Penn AC, CRI, and the other TBC boat crossing the lines. What a showing from Row America Rye. Very, very strong showing. They had a strong showing in the semifinal, and they backed it up with winning the gold in the national championships in the U19 fours. Winning time 6:35.80, and that was nearly 9 seconds faster than the silver medal winner.
Yeah, they had a nice open water couple of boat lengths. And you can see they are tired out there.
Well, when the championship's on the line, you leave everything on the
Absolutely.
water, and that is apparent there. The U17 fours for the women up next with Ready, Set, Row in lane 1, CRI in lane 2, Saugatuck B in lane 3, Saugatuck in lane 4, Sydney University in lane 5, and Row America Rye in lane 6. The two Saugatuck boats, the fastest in the semifinals yesterday, lined up in lanes 3 and 4. Though the Saugatuck A boat did have a few second advantage in the finish in the semifinals over the B boat, but those are only the semifinals, Libby.
Yeah.
These are the championships.
Yep. That's kind of, that's exciting that they're the same team and they're right next to each other and it's the finals. You never know what can happen there because you get that kind of teammate competitiveness going on too.
There's a shot of the Saugatuck A boat with Sydney University's boat right beside it as they cross through 500 on this 2,000-meter course. It is the two Saugatuck boats out in front right now. Row America Rye not being left behind in lane 6, and CRI and Ready, Set, Row sticking right with the crowd as well. The two Saugatuck boats, I think there's a little bit of rivalry happening there.
I'd say so.
I can sense it even on a video screen.
Absolutely. You've got your B boat that wants to prove themselves and your A boat that doesn't want to give that up.
Exactly right.
And then of course it's going for the gold here, so
a lot on the line, bragging rights and more.
Yep.
In the meantime, CRI is sticking right with the leaders. They're very much still in touch, as is Ready, Set, Row. Then it's Row America Rye and Sydney University in that order, but they are all within a boat length and a half of each other as they're through 750. Saugatuck boats, though, just right beside each other. Neither one giving an inch.
Nope.
As I see CRI quietly creeping up there in lane 2, along with Ready, Set, Row in lane 1. I wonder if, having your teammates beside you could equally be a distraction as it could be inspiration.
Yeah. You might get distracted and just be focused on them and not anybody else, and somebody pulls ahead. But at the same time, I'm sure they're used to this and know to keep an eye on everyone.
Well, here at the national championship level, I'm sure they're very aware and keeping their heads in the boat.
They are neck and neck with each other.
Slight advantage, I feel, maybe for the A boat, but maybe half a boat deck, but that's about it. Not much more. CRI sticking with them about a half a boat length behind. There's beginning to be some separation from those three boats and the remaining boats on the course. A little bit of separation, but still a lot of water to go as they're hitting that 1,000-meter mark.
CRI is sticking right with them.
Maybe lurking, waiting to pounce.
They might be.
Saugatuck A gaining an inch at a time, little bit. They have their bow out in the lead. Saugatuck A over Saugatuck B.
That says a lot about that rowing program, that they've got the two boats in this race, in this final, and they're neck and neck with each other.
Each of the Saugatuck boats won their semifinal yesterday to make it to this championship final. As you can see, they are neck and neck. I think the Saugatuck B may have gained a little of the ground they had given up. Meanwhile, CRI dropping back slightly, still hanging on to third.
I always like a little bit of rooting for the underdog, so I wouldn't mind seeing the B boat
I'm with you.
push forward a little bit there.
Have to be objective here as we're calling the race, though. So
Yeah.
Is the A feeling a bit of the pressure from that Saugatuck B boat, and Saugatuck in lane 4 applies a little pressure to those oars and is now back in the lead. CRI beginning to make up some ground as well. I'm Mark Brazell here with Libby Sherrington. This is the U.S. Rowing 2019 National Championships. We're watching the women's U17 4 final, the championship final, on this beautiful Thursday morning on Harsha Lake, East Fork State Park in Bethel, Ohio, just outside of Cincinnati. We've seen a handful of fantastic races already this morning and plenty more to enjoy as the morning goes on. Here we go, down into the home stretch, heading for home in the women's U17 4s for the national championship. The Saugatuck A boat in lane 4 begins to pour it on and pull away from Saugatuck B in second. CRI now pouring it on as well, beginning to catch up with the Saugatuck B boat, but they only have about 100 meters to the finish. And as they come to the line, it's Saugatuck winning the women's U17 4 final, taking both gold and silver, with CRI capturing the bronze. Then Sydney University, followed by Row America Rye. And Ready, Set, Row. Exciting battle. And what a show from the Saugatuck boats there. Battling all the way down the course, but the Saugatuck A kicking it in at the end and pulling away to beat their B boat. Winning time for Saugatuck in the women's U17 4 finals, 7:29:17. As we look at the recovery area for these national championships off the beach at Harsha Lake, ConnectAdock provides state-of-the-art docking systems to clients around the world, specializing in floating docks for rowing and all kinds of boating and complementary accessories. Entering its 18th season serving the rowing community, customers rate ConnectAdock's modular dock systems as the best available, offering benefits of exceptional stability, ease of installation, and removal. For information on ConnectAdock and its products, you can visit their tent in the vendor village here or contact sales at connectadock.com. 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships from Bethel, Ohio, continuing on a championship morning, the first of 2 championship days for these races. Be here all morning long before the time trials for the seniors and elites begin tomorrow, semifinals on Saturday, and finals, another championship final day on Sunday with the seniors and elites here at the National Championships. Exciting racing for the 4s. Back to the big boats and the 8s. The men's under 17 8 final with Penn AC in lane 1, CRI in lane 2, TBC Racing in lane 3, Row America Rye in lane 4, Belen Jesuit in lane 5, and CRI's B boat in lane 6. We saw, I believe it was 5 or 6 of the CRI 8s competing in the semifinals yesterday. 2 of them making it to this championship final. But Row America Rye was the fast mover in those semifinals yesterday. Right now they're facing a challenge from the TBC Racing boat in lane 3. Those 2 boats very close together as they're through the first 500. TBC Racing, Belen Jesuit in second, Row America Rye in third, followed by CRI in lane 2, then CRI in lane 6, and the boat from Penn AC right behind the pack. Wow, what a shot. Look at that speed as they go by on the screen. Just amazing.
That was a neat shot earlier. Excuse me. They were trying to, you could see how just the pace and how fast they were going and the effort.
I was going to say, unlike the 4s we just saw, as I'm sensing some urgency in this race for some reason. I mean, I don't know whether they just are having a higher stroke rate or whatever, but I just feel a sense of urgency. This is a real. These are 6 boats that are really striving to win that national championship in the men's U17 8s. And they are really feeling it right now.
Definitely. You can see the urgency and the effort, like I said earlier, in these guys.
Look at TBC Racing, though, beginning to pull away from the crowd at the 1,000-meter mark. Really beginning to pour it on. They now have open water between their stern and the second-place boat from Belen Jesuit. But they are not being left behind because Belen Jesuit, Row America Rye, and the CRI boat are sticking right with them. But that TBC Racing boat really pulling out and trying to begin to take control of this race in the second half.
Yeah, they have a nice boat length ahead. They're in a nice position.
Belen Jesuit not being left behind, though. They're really pushing hard and continue to try to keep up with the TBC boat. And in the meantime, Row America Rye sticking with Belen Jesuit right there. The CRI boat in lane 2 trying to keep up, beginning to flag just a hair and losing some water to those 2 boats from Belen Jesuit and Row America Rye. TBC, though, in the white jerseys, just pouring it on right now. Of course, a move and getting a lead like that at the halfway point can be both a boost to them psychologically and a blow psychologically to their opponents.
Yeah.
That's a lot of water to make up.
Yeah, you have to find it somewhere when you're behind in that way to first place and think, okay, they're still second, they're still third, and find that motivation somewhere to keep going, especially if you're at a higher stroke rating and you're tired and all those pieces kind of kick in. It's the 1,000-meter mark. And
you think I have a long way to go.
Yeah, yeah, and they're probably already exhausted because they're pushing so hard when you have a boat that far ahead.
Row America Rye gaining ground and now passing Belen Jesuit. They have about a seat or two on Belen Jesuit in lane 5. Row America Rye pursuing the boat from TBC. CRI trying to stick right with them and be in the medal count. But we'll have to see in these final 750 or so meters how it all shakes out. But here they come to the line in the men's U17 8s National Championship Final. TBC Racing plowing forward towards that finish line. A big sprint coming on from Row America Rye. A lot of water to make up. They have now passed Belen Jesuit. Belen Jesuit beginning to pour it on, as is CRI coming down the stretch. But TBC Racing, a big move right there. They went out, seized control, and have maintained it so far. And here they are, 30 meters from the finish, and the gold medal for the men's U17 8s. It's TBC Racing. Now the fight for the silver, Belen Jesuit and Row America Rye. They're coming down to the line. We'll have to see how it looks. It does look like it's Row America Rye that holds on to win the silver. Belen Jesuit with the bronze. Then it's CRI in 4th. The CRI B boat in 5th, and Penn AC in 6th in the men's U17 8s.
Were they wearing long sleeves?
They were wearing long sleeves. Yes, they were.
I don't know if that's more impressive. It's pretty warm out there.
Yeah, the TBC boat.
It's kind
Perhaps
of
it's one of those sunblock shirts.
Yeah.
So it's well ventilated, perhaps.
Maybe.
TBC Racing, what a performance. Winning the men's U17 8s in a time of 6:02.42.
Wow. Very fast.
Blazingly fast. You're watching live streaming coverage of the Championship Thursday for the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships from Bethel, Ohio. I'm Mark Purcell here with Libby Charrington, bringing you these races on this championship day. A great view of the beauty that is East Fork State Park and Harsha Lake here outside of Bethel, Ohio, just to the east of Cincinnati. See a shot of the beach here, the team tents, the big screen TV where the crowd on the beach is keeping track of what's going on up the course. So what do cranberries and rowers have in common?
Cranberries?
They both float, of course. Beginning this summer, the Cranberry Marketing Committee is pleased to be teaming up with U.S. Rowing to provide their athletes with access to America's original superfruit. You can visit the U.S. Rowing membership tent for unlimited free samples. Good. Here we are with the next of the championship races. The women's U17 quads. Here they come, the powerhouses of the sculls. Row America Rye in lane 1, CRI in lane 2, Maritime in lane 3, Y Quad Cities in lane 4, Oak Neck Academy in lane 5, and Utah in lane 6. Moving through the first 500. As we get a good angle on the camera, we'll see who is in the lead. They pass that big orange buoy that indicates 500 meters. Does look like Utah out in lane 6, out to an early lead with Oak Neck Academy right there with them, just about a third of a boat length behind. Then it's CRI, Maritime, followed by Y Quad Cities, but 4 of those boats are within, I'd say, maybe a quarter of a deck of each other, Libby. Very close.
Absolutely. They're all neck and neck right in there together.
So CRI, Maritime, Oak Neck Academy, Utah, all neck and neck. The other boats in the race, though, in touch, but very early in the race through the first 750. And speaking of the sculls, in the rest of this regatta, the elites and seniors competing beginning tomorrow in time trials, semis on Saturday, and finals on Sunday. You can catch some of the nation's top athletes going head-to-head in the women's and men's elite senior singles sculls for the U.S. Lotman Challenge races. There's a new format, and the U.S. Rowing National Championships are one of 3 qualifying events this year, as the winners of the elite senior singles at this event will proceed to leg 2 of the Lotman Challenge. So a lot of great racing still to come. Again, the time trials happening tomorrow, and then the semis for the seniors and elites on Saturday, finals on Sunday. We have the U17, U19 championship races happening right now here on the US Rowing YouTube channel. We're watching the women's U17 quad final. Again, the lineup: Row America Rye, CRI, Maritime, Y Quad Cities, Oak Neck Academy, and Utah. That's going from the center of the lake towards the beach. Lane 1 is out in the middle of the lake, and lane 6 will be closest to the beach. Still a very tight race as they move through 1750, heading for the big boys, meaning 500 meters to go. But an advantage now in lane 2 to CRI. CRI has gone out there, but look at that. They are all within 2 boat lengths of each other from 1st to 6th.
Yeah, this is a tight race. CRI, though, looks like they're really pulling ahead.
You can see from this angle how the boat from Maritime beginning to drift a little over in their lane and along the buoy line, and that can slow you down a little bit, but they may have drifted because they were pulling so hard.
Yeah.
But yes, a tough fight right now to call who's in second. Row America Rye, Maritime, Y Quad Cities, bow ball to bow ball. Oak Neck Academy in touch with them, and Utah in touch with Oak Neck Academy boat. So it's only the CRI boat now in lane 2 that has begun to pull away and pulled away there in that third 500 to establish themselves as the leader in the women's U17 quads.
Yeah, it's a whole other skill set because you're sculling, right? You're sculling together, but then also keeping your pressure, making sure that your pressure's even so that you're not drifting that way. So that you steer straight.
Some of the sweep boats do have rudders who have a steering mechanism that can be used to steer the boat, but scull boats don't usually have any steering mechanism. You can see Row America Rye wandering a little bit in their lane. Excellent shot to be able to see the wake and how the wakes are moved and curved in places.
Yeah.
But CRI out in front. This will be a dogfight when it comes to second and third for sure if CRI maintains their lead, because you have Maritime, Y Quad Cities, and Row America Rye all fighting with the Oak Neck Academy, trying to stick with that pack. But those other 3 boats are fighting for second right now. What a shot here. So you're looking at the boat from CRI that's in the lead for the women's U17 quads.
They look strong. Consistent.
And it looks smooth and easy, but boy, they are working hard. Coming down to the line for the women's U17 quads, a drag race for that silver medal. It looks like Y Quad Cities has overtaken and passed Maritime, and at the line, winning the gold, it is CRI. Silver for the women's quads. Y Quad Cities with Maritime right behind them. Row America Rye not that far behind. Here comes Oak Neck Academy and Utah. What a win for CRI. A big move. We saw how close together they were coming through 500 to 750 or so. First half of the race, the boats very tightly marked. By the time we picked them up just about 500 meters later, the CRI boat had really begun to dominate. CRI winning the gold in the women's U17 quads here at the National Championships with a time of 7:06:09. They hardly look winded.
I'm sure they are, though.
I'm sure they are. But what a showing from CRI there in the women's quads at U17. The men's U19 singles will have the women's U19 singles in 3 races from now, but here's the men's U19 singles. The lineup in lane 1 is Brett Bossy from Oak Neck Academy. Lane 2, Colton Paxton from Row House. Lane 3 is Curtis Alter from Row America Rye. Lane 4 is Nicholas Aronoff from Oak Neck Academy. Lane 5 is Alexander Kasarik from Belmont. And in lane 6, Michael Kulik from Nereid. Watch these single scullers working hard on this Thursday morning of national championships. Curtis Alter of Row America Rye and Michael Kulik from Nereid out early. Here's a shot of Curtis Alter from Row America Rye. If you look in the background and see that blue shell, that is Alexander Kasarik of Belmont, and there in lane 6, Michael Kulik of Nereid, the ones who are leading right now. But Kasarik of Belmont and Oak Neck Academy also in the mix through the 500 and into the 750. US Rowing would like to thank our sponsors and partners, including EMC, Regatta Central, Empacher, and Captain U. US Rowing, thanking our sponsors and partners, spreading the good word about this wonderful sport.
That's a beautiful shot of the race course.
So you skim across the water down towards the 1500 meters. You settled into your race pace, and now old man fatigue is beginning to visit you. Muscles beginning to ache a little bit, and you're making that transition to really getting that flow and that feel. This is the hard working portion of the course. You can see they're just through the 1,000 meters and into that third 500. Curtis Alter, Row America Rye, with about a boat length lead right now over Nicholas Aronoff from Oak Neck Academy and Michael Kulik from Nereid. Alexander Kasarik from Belmont in 4th at the moment, with Brett Bossy from Oak Neck Academy and Colton Paxton from Row House rounding out the field in the men's U19 singles. Among other sponsors and partners for US Rowing are Thorne, NK, and Croker. Thank you for your support, as well as United. The men's U19 singles final. Nice shot right there of Curtis Alter from Row America Rye and his boat length lead. But look at the power there in the lane next to him, Libby. Nicholas Aronoff from Oak Neck Academy beginning to apply some pressure and glancing over to check out what Alter is doing in the next lane. I see Alter responding too.
Yeah, you see that little turn of the head and likewise from the other rower, and kind of looking at each other and where they're at, and definitely one picked up the pace, and then so did the other.
Call and response.
Hmm.
Aronoff, though, seems to be gaining some ground. And you can really see the difference. Look at the difference in these strokes here, Libby.
Yeah, lane 3 seems to be kind of that more back, sitting back, and lane 4 is much more of that continuous kind of forward lean, I think.
Aronoff really making up some ground on Alter from Row America Rye. Aronoff from Oak Neck Academy now bow ball to bow ball. They are even in the men's U19 single final. This will be a battle of the wills in these final meters, 250 meters to the end. Aronoff now beginning to take the lead over Alter from Row America Rye. Aronoff, one big long acceleration there from about, I would say, 350 out.
Yep.
He really made a move and decided to establish himself. And as they're coming down to the finish line, Nicholas Aronoff from Oak Neck Academy, the men's U19 single final at the national championships, out in the lead and gaining some open water over Curtis Alter from Row America Rye, who's in second.
Wow.
What a move there. And then here comes a battle for the bronze right now. Brent Bossy from Oak Neck Academy and Alexander Kasarik from Belmont coming down to the finish, battling for the bronze. Crossing the line, it appears that it is Bossy who may have won that race over Kasarik. So the 1, 2, 3. Nicholas Aronoff from Oak Neck Academy winning. Well, I'll have to wait and see. I'm getting some scrambled information here. We'll have to shake it out. But Nicholas Aronoff from Oak Neck Academy beating Curtis Alter from Row America Rye to the line. What a row for Oak Neck Academy, and quite a finish there. The men's U19 single final, and really an impressive showing from Nicholas Aronoff from Oak Neck Academy. Big move, just shy of the probably, I'd say the 1750 mark. Maybe a little bit further out from that, but really made a move and moved, and really made up a lot of ground at the end. Very, very impressive. 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships from Bethel, Ohio. U.S. Rowing would like to thank our sponsors and partners, including Concept 2, the National Rowing Federation, JL Racing, and Visit Sarasota. It was Nicholas Aronoff winning the men's U19 single final with a time of 7:11:27. Curtis Alter from Row America Rye with the silver. Brett Bossy from Oak Neck Academy with the bronze, just beating out by a second and a half or so Alexander Kasarik of Belmont. Now the women's U19 pairs final. King and Craighead from Saugatuck will be racing in lane 1. Rocket and Carragher from Sammamish Association in lane 2. Hill and Ondak from OKC HB Center in lane 3. Benestead and Lorem from Row West Racing Camp in lane 4. Sportstrom and Longawa from Row West Racing Camp in lane 5. And Mosconi and Beloso from Row America Rye in lane 6 for the women's U19 pairs final. So you did a lot of sweeping. Ever a pair there, Libby?
Yes. So a lot of 8s and 4s in high school, and then racing 8s and 4s at BU. But with our coach at BU, she loved pairs and loved to get us in those small boats often so that we could really feel our technique and see kind of what you talked about earlier, that what we were doing wrong. I was fortunate. I had Holly Hatton as a coach for a short time up there when I rowed, and she ended up coaching Olympic pairs, who won bronze, I think, at one time. And then she herself was a coxswain in the 1980 Olympics, and didn't get to go. Obviously, it was 1980, but so she strongly believed in rowing in pairs, even if you're a sweep 8 racer. You know that helps you develop your technique and really get that feel of the boat. I think she was right. I think she knew what she was talking about.
a lot to show when you're rowing a pair.
You really feel every little movement in these smaller boats.
That's a shot of Swartzstrom and Longawa from Row West Racing Camp, looking and glancing over at their teammates, Benestead and Lorem, as they go down. But right now it looks like it's Rocket and Carragher from Sammamish Association who are in the lead, have a slight advantage for the lead over those Row West boats. Then I think that was the OKC boat, followed by Saugatuck and Row America Rye. And yes, a big lead it looks like from Sammamish right now. Sammamish on the move through 750, looking very strong, rowing straight and hard. So when doing this, when you were rowing your pair, how do you find, or what form of communication did you have with your partner, and knowing, keeping the boat straight and keeping the power on?
I think for me, it's always been about feeling it, and so when it's really offset and moving your arm and changing your level, and similar to sculling, but obviously sweep you just have the one oar, but again, just feeling it a little bit and finishing maybe a little lower, finishing a little higher, trying to feel each other, and feeling the way of the boat and through the water, and getting that rhythm, and all the more important to be together in these smaller boats, and talking to each other, and well, what are we doing wrong here? What's going on? Why are we always on port, or why are we always on starboard, or how we're going back and forth a lot, or we're all over the river.
That's right.
So just talking it out to being successful at setting the boat and rowing well together.
A boat in the lead for a national championship in the women's U19 pairs right now. There's the Sammamish out in lane 2 with quite a lead right now over the 2 boats from Row West Racing Camp, which traveled here from Los Angeles, California. They brought 24 entries for the national championships, but Sammamish really very confidently grabbing hold of this race. They're early in and maintaining that lead right now.
It's fun to see all these different crews from all the way from California and all over coming here for this.
Nice feel here for the lead Sammamish has, about a boat length over Row West Racing Camp in lane 4. And Row West Racing Camp in lane 5 right there with them. We then just about a boat deck, but Sammamish out in front now. OKC HP Center in 4th, and Saugatuck in that order here for the women's U19 pairs final.
With the pairs, if somebody's pulling harder than the other.
Move right now from Benestead and Lorem from Row West Racing Camp. They've begun to move forward and have almost eliminated the lead that Rocket and Carragher from Sammamish is. Swartzstrom and Long up the pace of their.
They look very calm.
What a move from Benestead and Lorem from Row West Racing Camp, pouring it on right now, catching up with Rocket and Carragher from Sammamish Association. Coming down to the line, it is going to be Benestead and Lorem from Row West Racing Camp for the gold, with Sammamish's Rocket and Carragher coming in for the silver. In the meantime, Swartstrom and Longawa from Row West Racing. And then it will be Mosconi and Beloso from Row America Rye, and King and Craig. Nice move at the end. Eliminated the lead that Sammamish had, overtook them, and snatched the gold. Time 7:45.86 for Benestead and Lorem of Row West Racing Camp. In rowing the pairs, did you find them more exhausting than the 4s and 8s?
Well, it certainly takes a lot longer.
Working a little longer, is that
yeah. I didn't race in pairs, but just practices and longer, it's a longer workout. It's a longer, if you're trying to go to a specific distance, it takes longer,
Quite a race there, and
I don't think I'll ever do a head race. Double or a pair.
Here we are with the men's U19 pairs final. Right now in the lead, it's Garcia Chacon and Fox from Belen Jesuit, with Gelfand and Lowe from CRI in second, and Acalina Piscatello and Van Orden from CRI in third, through about 6:50 or so. Lineup for the men's U19 pairs for this national championship race is Skornavaca and Amello from CRI in lane 1, Mackel and Smith from Row America Rye in lane 2, Gelfand and Loeb from CRI in lane 3, Garcia Chacon and Fox from Belen Jesuit in lane 4, Acalina Piscatello and Van Orden in lane 5, and Arnold and Fowler from CRI in lane 6. Yes, you heard CRI 4 times, 4 CRI boats in this lineup, and that is quite a tale to tell. And in Boston Community Rowing Incorporated, quite the program.
It's huge. It says over 5,000 members. That's enormous. What a presence, and always seeing them out. And I remember, seeing their boathouse and rowing past it many times, having no idea that it was that large of a program. That's pretty awesome.
USRowing would like to thank our sponsors and partners, including Philippi, Hudson, Vespoli, Dreher, and Croker. These sponsors and partners helping us spread the gospel of the benefits of rowing across the nation and around the world. Men's U19 pairs with Garcia Chacon and Fox of Belen Jesuit in the lead right now. 4 CRI boats pursuing, as is Mackel and Smith from Row America Rye. Approaching the 1,500 meter mark, leaving a quarter of the race to go. You can see the CRI boat in lane 3 making some navigational adjustments. But
yeah, you have to be completely in sync with pairs, especially with your power, because that you're together, not just in sync with your strokes, but with your power.
Last month at the USRowing Youth National Championships, Belen Jesuit Crew Prep School in Miami, Florida, had quite a showing. Some very impressive rowing too, and it's good to see them showing up here in the Fox pair from Belen Jesuit with those yellow, white jerseys with a yellow stripe and those yellow oars. Picking up the pace in the final, beginning their sprint a little bit early. The boat from CRI from Gelfand and Loeb trying to track down and pass Garcia Chacon and Fox from Belen Jesuit. In the meantime, the CRI boat on the other side Aquilina Piscatello and Van Orden from CRI trying to track them down too. But as they come down to the finish line, quite an impressive row for the pair from Belen Jesuit. Here they come in the final 50 meters, coming to the finish line in the gold medal at the National Championships. It is Garcia Chacon Fox from Belen Jesuit taking the gold in the men's U19 pairs. A battle between CRI for the silver, but silver and bronze going to CRI. Gelfand and Loeb winning the silver. Aquilina Piscatello and Van Orden from CRI the bronze. Then it was Mackel and Smith from Row America Rye. CRI's Skornovaca and Amello, and Arnold and Fowler from CRI crossing the line. The men's U19 pairs, Garcia Chacon Fox from Belen Jesuit, a time of 7:04.68 in that row. Referee raising the flag, indicating a fair and finished race. Again, the 16th annual college fair taking place at this year's national championships. Rising seniors get to meet coaches from over 70 colleges from across the country. The event today from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and Friday, July 12th, tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The program office hours will be determined by each school. And so check out the 16th annual college fair, this year's national championships. I'm Mark Purcell with Libby Charrington calling these championship races on a beautiful Thursday here on Harsha Lake at East Fork State Park, just east of Cincinnati, Bethel, Ohio. Beautiful day, not quite as steamy and hot as yesterday, though I was looking at my my weather app before, and it said it was 40 degrees below zero, and I didn't quite believe that. I knew it was a little cooler. I didn't think it was quite that cool, Libby. But
and I would feel like I was back in Boston in the winter. No.
Indeed, but a nice day for championship racing. We're about halfway through the schedule. We have some great races still to come. We've been seeing some great racing, a number of photo finishes. We have 25 different national championship races today, and we are just about halfway through that 25 as we're waiting for the start of the women's U19 singles final. In the lineup is Margaret Straub from Pocock, very strong race yesterday. Emma Mask from Y Quad Cities will be in lane 2. Annika Gromick from Potomac, a very impressive row she had in the semifinals yesterday. She's in lane 3. A very fast row from Isabel Meze from Saugatuck in lane 4. In the semifinals, she was the fastest qualifier for this championship final. Ashley Gianetti from Row America Rise in lane 5, and Ella Berry from Oak Neck Academy in lane 6. And I can tell you, yesterday in the semifinals, it was very impressive, Libby, to see some of these athletes. They were just doing an amazing job in blazing down the course in these singles.
It's impressive. Every year, it looks like they get faster and faster and breaking times, and it's so neat to see.
Well, it was, I did hear some comments of folks saying that it's been interesting to see not only the growth of rowing, but the speeds picking up, that the quality of athletes has really increased. It's been amazing to see it grow, but also the abilities and seeing the times. As you were a bit gobsmacked earlier at the time of some of those 8s.
Yeah.
Just
definitely.
to see those times get faster and faster. Wonderful to see. Women's U19 single final underway. Again, Margaret Straub from Pocock in lane 1. Emma Mask from Y Quad Cities in lane 2. Annika Gromick from Potomac in lane 3. Isabel Meze from Saugatuck in lane 4. Ashley Gianetti from Row America Rye in lane 5. And Ella Berry from Oak Neck Academy in lane 6, closest to the shore when they come up here. I do remember the Saugatuck boat yesterday went out to blazingly fast and stayed ahead of the pack for most of the semifinals. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out today and whether Isabel has that same type of tactic in mind.
You can see already some of them are pulling away.
Indeed, she is. Isabel Meze from Saugatuck in the lead, but hotly pursued by Row America Rise Giannetti and Barry from Oak Neck Academy. They are all just about a half a boat length right behind her. We have Straub from Pocock in fourth right now, with Emma Mask from Y Quad Cities not that far behind. Have to check on what the lineup is, because I don't see a boat in lane 3, so Gromick from Potomac might not be rowing in this race.
It looks like Ella Berry is right there, right along with
The Saugatuck boat in
the
lane
Saugatuck
4.
Isabel.
Barry is really doing a good job of beginning to creep into that lead that Meze from Saugatuck has. But the Saugatuck boat, as I said, very impressive in yesterday's semifinal, and I think seeking to do the same here.
I'm always impressed with single scullers, just to do it by yourself. Mentally, physically.
Nice shot to see what these scullers are doing. Look at that power.
Yeah.
Just all the way through the stroke, moving the boat right through the water. Emma Berry from Oak Neck Academy may have an advantage now. Oak Neck Academy boat in lane 6 with just the slightest lead over the Saugatuck boat in lane 4. Splitting them is Giannetti from Row America Rye, and she's looking over her shoulder to see what she can make up. But boy, what a move from Emma Berry there, just as you pointed it out. Ella Berry, excuse me. Ella Berry really had a nice move there that she was in second, rowing right beside the Row America Rye boat, and then just began to move at about 750 meters to go in the race.
Still a long way, but she looks strong.
See if she can maintain that, or whether Meze from Saugatuck has something. Well, there goes a big push from the Saugatuck boat. So I was going to say, if she has something left there, she does, and we'll see if it will stick with it, or whether Ella Berry from Oak Neck Academy can hang on for the win. But we'll see as they come down the course here at Harsha Lake and the U.S. Rowing National Championships for 2019 and the Women's U19 Singles. Action closest to the shore as Oak Neck Academy in lane 6 and the Saugatuck boat in lane 4 continue to battle. In the meantime, Giannetti from in the final stretch here, and what a race for the medals back here between lanes 2, 4, and 5. Big push from Giannetti from Row America Rye. Now she is digging deep, as is Emma Mask from Y Quad Cities. Mask from Y Quad Cities glancing over to her left, beginning to paddle faster, and she looks like she's holding on to second. But here they come to the line. It's going to be Ella Berry from Oak Neck Academy winning the gold. A big push from Emma Mask of Y Quad Cities, snagging the silver. And here for the bronze comes Ashley Giannetti from Row America Rye. Then it's Meze from Saugatuck and Straub from Pocock crossing the line. Ella Berry with an impressive move, 750 meters from the end, taking the lead and crossing the line first in the Women's U19 Singles Final. A time of 8:11:35 for Ella Berry from Oak Neck Academy.
That was a great row for her.
And a lot of power, too. That was very impressive the way she came forward and into the lead. It was just quite amazing. She had the second fastest time in her semifinal yesterday, well below the winner of her heat, and so she obviously
She's happy.
got the guns, got the guns. Nice row from Ella
deserves it.
Berry from
That's
Oak Neck
awesome.
Academy. But yes, came from behind. She obviously had quite a bit of strategy at work, and it paid off with a gold medal in the women's U19 singles. Now to the U19 fours. Only 4 boats in this championship final. Sammamish Rowing Association B in lane 2, Oakland Strokes in lane 3, Resilient in lane 4, and the Sammamish Association A boat in lane 5. Here we are looking at the Oakland Strokes boat in lane 3, an early leader.
Yeah, there they go.
They have quite the lead, already a little bit of an open water lead over the second place boat from Resilient.
You can kind of see it. They have that pop at the catch. They're rowing really, really well together.
Now, we've been talking about the fours. Usually we talk about the fours. The fours are coxed boat. This is the 4 minus, or the 4 without. So you'll notice there is not a coxswain in these boats. Boat's a little lighter and able to move a little faster. And that's why there are only 4 boats in this final. And for the 4 plus coxswain, it's usually 8 plus coxswain. X, that means it's a sculling event. So a 4X is different from a 4 plus because it's a sculling event where the rowers have 2 oars, and a 4 plus is a sweeping event where the rowers only have 1 oar per rower. So just a little bit of vocabulary or numerology, lexicology, whatever you want to call it, on this championship day. But here's the women's U19 4 without final. No coxswain here, so these that can provide a bit of a challenge for the rowers. Have you ever rowed a coxless 4?
And you move your foot to steer. But only in never racing, just practicing.
Well, we can see some steering issues from the one Sammamish boat in the outside lane, lane 5, as it is pointed straight towards the camera here and towards the point and towards the buoy line.
Yeah.
But we'll see them corrected. I'm sure the USRowing referees who are following will help them maneuver. Not as crucial necessarily in this race, since there is not a boat in the lane beside them, so that navigation does not pose any interference possibilities. So that I'm sure the refs are helping them, but not panicking. And that's, again, you don't have to stay in your lane the whole way down, but the quickest way to get from one spot to another is in a straight line.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's not easy. I mean, it's adding that other skill, that other piece. And again, making sure your pressure is even. If you have a really strong starboard rower, that
they may get a little over anxious at times.
You got to make sure that you're all pushing evenly.
So Oakland Strokes continuing to lead in the women's under 19 coxless 4 final. About a boat length over Resilient right now. Resilient and Sammamish Association battling for that second spot right now. Sammamish looking very strong, even with those navigation issues we were discussing right there, as we see the bow rower of the Oakland Strokes boat take a glance over the over her shoulder kind of place herself on the course to see where she is. But here they come, heading towards the last 300 meters of the race in the coxless fours. And the Oakland Strokes boat looking very strong. They have the whole race, but staying very smooth and rowing very straight, too.
Very consistent. They're doing a really nice job.
The Red Boys indicating 250 meters from the finish. It's the national championship final for the women's under-19 coxless fours. Comes down the home stretch. Sammamish, a little bit of an advantage right now over Resilient for the second place, but they are very close. But in the meantime, Oakland Strokes walking away with it. Coming down to the line. It'll be gold for the Oakland Strokes in the coxless fours here at the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships. Sammamish will finish in second, about a boat length ahead of Resilient. ConnectAdock provides state-of-the-art docking systems to clients around the world, specializing in floating docks for rowing and all kinds of boating and complementary accessories. Entering his 18th season serving the rowing community, customers rate ConnectAdock's modular dock systems as the best available, offering benefits of exceptional stability, ease of installation, and removal. For more information on ConnectAdock and its products, please contact sales@connectadock.com or visit their tent right here at the National Championships up in the Vendor Village. Also, the big white tent in the center will be hosting College Fair, the 16th annual College Fair taking place at this year's National Championships, but it's there that you'll also find Captain U. This year, U.S. Rowing's again partnered with Captain U as its exclusive online athlete recruiting partner, providing rowers with a free recruiting profile and resources for rowing in college. Profile allows athletes to publish erg scores, academics, and videos all in one place. And additionally, athletes can connect directly with college rowing programs, receive guidance throughout the recruiting process, and search colleges to find the best fit. Head to CaptainU.com to create your free profile today, or look for the Captain U tent up in the Vendor Village. Men's under-17 single final underway on the lake here at East Fork State Park, Harsha Lake, the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships. I'm Mark Brazell here with Libby Sherrington. We have a lineup in the U17 single final for Emerson Chatui of North Jersey in lane 1, Quinlan Daly of Maritime in lane 2, Andrew Furlow of Gainesville area in lane 3, Losiga Tompa from Sylvan Scullers in lane 4, John McNicholas from Oak Neck Academy in lane 5, and Alexander Jovanovich Haken from Utah in lane 6. A quick lead for John McNicholas of Oak Neck Academy. He has about a boat length over the rest of the field as they pass through the 500-meter mark, but the rest of the field hot on his tail and pretty even, Libby.
Yeah. Again, they look really good, really strong, consistent.
This might be quite a race because these boats are still very connected together. Little bit of a breeze today on the lake here at Lake Harsha. We had a little bit of a breeze yesterday, but nothing major, Libby. But sometimes that breeze can be helpful, especially if it's a tailwind. But
Yep.
It can also sometimes pose challenge.
Yeah, I can remember, and deal with it, accept it, and move on.
You can't change the weather.
Nope.
From years of running regattas, I know that you can't worry about the weather or stress out about it because it is what it is, and you can't affect it in any way. So
This is a beautiful sunny day, and you don't always get that. I can remember rowing here Midwest Championships in high school, and it being rainy and windy, and you just have to deal with it and row through it as best as you can.
Shatui from North Jersey, Furlow from the Gainesville area, and McNicholas from Oak Neck Academy. Very even in this race, just about a boat length behind him are Quinlan Daly of Maritime, Tompa of Sylvan Scullers, and Jovanovic Hakon from Utah. Well, at least in spacing, very close race happening right now. And those three boats, Shatui, Furlow, and McNicholas, are all, I would say, less than a half a boat length apart. They're each a lane away from each other, so it might set up some interesting dynamics as we go along. We have the advantage of our beautiful drone shot here to see that from North Jersey right now.
What a great aerial view. That's incredible.
Meantime, Tompa from Sylvan Scullers in lane 4 is pursuing those leaders. Looks like McNicholas has been pouring it on a little bit and now has about a boat length over the second place boat from Furlow of the Gainesville area. Kind of interesting to wonder how these rowers are perceiving their competition across, an extra lane, having that space, a full lane in between you and the competition. How much of a sense of, obviously McNicholas from Oak Neck Academy with that boat length lead has a little bit of better peripheral vision, but the other rowers might be having a little difficult seeing what the competition is doing. We're seeing Tompa from Sylvan Scullers. They're riding the buoy line right beside McNicholas. Tompa had a big push in the second half of the race yesterday in the semifinals to really, the Tui's begun to pour it on, and I think McNicholas senses that. And with the red buoys right there indicating the home stretch, look at stroke rate with Shatui from North Jersey on the far side in lane 1 pouring it on as well as they come down to the line. But a very dominating row here from John McNicholas of Oak Neck Academy. He has been really doing a job all the way down the course, and here he comes across the line to win the gold in the men's U17 singles. It'll be Shatui from North Jersey crossing in second, then Furlow from the Gainesville area. Tompa running out of water from the Sylvan Scullers. He'll finish in fourth, followed by Daly from Maritime, Jovanovic Hakon from Utah in fifth, and then it will be Quinlan Daly from Maritime in sixth in the men's U17 singles. John McNicholas, Oak Neck Academy, winning time 7:33.71.
It's fun to see I assume his teammates running by the beach and their arms up and they're cheering and they're running as he crosses the finish line, and I love rowing because it's such a team sport. Even if you're in a single, you belong to this club, and it's such a family feeling. You become so close to the people you row with, and you row so often together. You really do become part of that family and cheer each other on, and it's fun to see that here.
In this day and age, to see that the cohesiveness and that unity and purpose, it is really awe-inspiring in the art of rowing. All about teamwork and dedication and determination. And
Absolutely.
what better thing for these young athletes to be practicing? The women's under-17 doubles final on the water here on this championship Thursday for the national championships. It's White and Henderson from Rocket City lining up in lane 1. Walter and Vanderswan from Conshohocken in lane 2. Levitt and Winter from Penn AC in lane 3. Evans and Tesson from Y Quad City in lane 4. Arucci and Weilert from Oak Neck Academy in lane 5. Anani and Worth from CRI in lane 6. Women's under 17 doubles. There were some very exciting racing in the semifinals for these doubles yesterday. We'll see how the race for the gold goes in this race today. As they did yesterday, Arucci and Weiler from Oak Neck Academy out early with a little bit of a lead in lane 5. Through the first 500 meters. I'll give you the running tally as we get a good angle. So Oak Neck Academy's Arucci and Weiler in the lead. Y Quad Cities, Evans and Tesson in second, and third, difficult to call between the boat from Conshohocken, the boat from Penn AC. They're neck and neck there with the CRI boat off the pace slightly just behind those front four, but these front four are on the move. That boat from Conshohocken really moving forward right now. Penn AC coming with them. Rocket City in pursuit, but out in front early, Oak Neck Academy's Arucci and Weilert. The Oak Neck Academy boat and the Y Quad Cities boat were the two winners of the semifinals yesterday, and I imagine they will be quite battling all the way down the course. We'll see if the Oak Neck Academy boat can fend off their advances, but Walter and Vanderswan from Conshohocken were really on the move going through 500 towards the 750, and I think they're out there and catching up with that boat from Oak Neck Academy. Again, we're doing the U17, U19 championships for the national championships today. Beginning tomorrow, the elite and seniors will begin to compete for the national championships. You can catch some of the nation's top athletes going head-to-head, especially in the single sculls, and with a new format for the U.S. Lotman Challenge races this year. The USRowing National Championships, one of 3 qualifying events for the Lotman Challenge. As the winners of the elite and senior singles will proceed to leg 2 of the Lotman Challenge coming up. So that is all with the elite senior competition for the national championships, beginning with time trials tomorrow.
It's been interesting to go from sweep to switch over to sculling as an adult, and sculling in doubles with Amanda, who announced with you yesterday, and just getting back in the swing of that and feeling it again, and coming back to rowing after been gone, raising my son and life, and coming back, and but how quickly it does come back, and how quickly the community is just like, well, come on back and join us and come row, and we can't wait to see you on the water again. And but it has been interesting, that switch to go, sweep obviously was so big in high school and most of college, and I started sculling in college a little bit, and then after, and then getting in a double with Amanda recently, and watching these women row in the double now. It's fun. It's neat to see and to feel to be a part of it again after a long time away.
But as you said, like riding a bike,
it really is.
The feel comes right back.
It really does.
1, 2, 3 in this championship final for the women's U17 doubles. It's Oak Neck Academy, Y Quad Cities, Penn AC stacked up, and then just a hair of open water between their stern and the boat from Penn AC in lane 3. Then it's back to Walter and Vanderswan from Conshohocken and White and Henderson from Rocket City showing their determination to take home the gold in this race.
Yeah, they have a nice open water lead. They look.
Not frantic. They look determined.
Yep.
Very determined.
Yep.
250 meters to go.
Very focused.
The bow seat glancing over her right shoulder. Get a sense of the course as they head into the red buoy. Sold in the women's U17 doubles. Evans and Tesson from Y Quad Cities pursuing them. In second place currently, being chased by the Penn AC boat 11 and Winter right now. But what a show. Tens of meters of a lead and a win in the women's U17 doubles at the national championships for Rucci and Weilert of Oak Neck Academy. Evans and Tesson from Y Quad Cities crossing second. Then Levitt and Winter from Penn AC. White and Henderson from Rocket City crossing next, followed by Walter and Van der Zwan from Conshohocken and Anani and Worth from CRI. The women's U17 doubles. What an effort for the Oak Neck Academy boat and the women's U17 doubles. Not only the camaraderie within a team as I see a wave to another boat, but after the finish among competitors,
Absolutely.
the collegiality, it's just amazing.
I always say rowers are really good people.
This is live streaming coverage of the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships. We're at Harsha Lake in Bethel, Ohio, in the middle of East Fork State Park, just outside of Cincinnati. A beautiful day for these gold medal races. Quite exciting racing happening. We've had a couple of photo finishes that have been fun to watch, and more racing to come. 25 gold medals being awarded in these national championships, and the next on the line will be the men's U19 doubles. McClellan Kennedy from Conshohocken in lane 1, Rostick and Allman from Rockland in lane 2, Hall and Harmon from Conshohocken in lane 3, Arano and Bossy from Oak Neck Academy in lane 4, Row America Rise, Alter and Wenk in lane 5, and then Riddle and O'Grady from Resilient in lane 6. The battle here through 500 looks like it's between Oak Neck Academy and Conshohocken, because they are just side by side as they go through. But out in the lead, it's Alter and Wenk from Row America Rye right now. Still another close race, just 2 boat lengths between the two there, Libby.
Yeah, right off in the beginning, you've got a good pack.
A tight back, quite a tight back there too. Remember, the Cranberry Marketing Committee is pleased to be teaming up with U.S. Rowing to provide their athletes with access to America's original superfruit. Go and check out all of the tents in the vendor village here, but visit the U.S. Rowing membership tent for unlimited free samples from the Cranberry Marketing Committee. So you watch the men's U19 doubles come down the course. A lot of movement. And the second 500 hitting the halfway point of the race. And of course, the proverbial wall in the third 500 where the fatigue is setting in, but you're also trying to set up for the finish.
And some of these rowers have been racing earlier today already. So you've got Bossy of Oak Neck, who was in the men's U19 single final. So not their first race today.
But I imagine it might be their last. So, and as a matter of fact, it's Alter and Wink from Row America Rye out in the lead by about a boat length over Aronoff and Bossy from Oak Neck Academy. Then Righty Boat from Resilient, riding about a... Still a lot of water to go, though, Libby. They're just going movement in these doubles, and we did see a lot of movement in the last quarter of the race in the semifinals yesterday. So Row America Rye in the lead, a boat length and a little open water over Oak Neck Academy. And then a little open water from their stern back to the bow of the battle for third that's shaping up between Rockland and Conshohocken.
Although Row America double has a nice open water on them and looking good.
No doubt beginning to hear the clamor of the crowd here on the beach at Harsha Lake as Alter and Wink from Row America Rye begin to kick into their sprint as they hit those red buoys and begin to move. Aronoff and Bossy from Oak Neck Academy, no doubt determined to try to catch them. You can kind of see them shift gears too when they saw those red buoys. In the meantime, down in lane 2, Rostick and Allman from Rockland had begun to pull away from the boats from Conshohocken on either side of them. But it is Walter and Wank from Row America Rye really looking fine in his final stretch, but charging hard right now. It's Aronoff and Bossy from Oak Neck Academy coming into the final stretch, the final 100 meters as they come down to the line. It's looking like Alter and Wank from Row America Rye will hold on, but Aronoff and Bossy from Oak Neck moving fast as they hit the finish line for the championship in the men's U19 double final. It is Row America Rye with the win. Coming in second, Aronoff and Bossy from Oak Neck Academy, and then third will belong to Rostick and Allman of Rockland. There's the bronze. A quick end there too. Hall and Harmon from Conshohocken in fourth. McClellan and Kennedy from Conshohocken in fifth. Then Riddle and O'Grady from Resilient in sixth. What a row from Row America Rye, leaving it all on the water here at the National Championships in the men's U19 doubles. I see you smile at the look on his face. Yes, you could see the effort that was made.
I'm pointing up number 1 from Val. They're excited, yeah.
I may be in pain, but doggone it, we won a gold medal. Of course, all these boats that are winning or medaling, building up points for the team point trophy too.
Absolutely, and just being here is amazing, and competing, and then of course medaling at all is great.
Well, and being able to meet crews from all around the country and all around the globe too, with Sydney, Australia visitors from Sydney University. That's great to see the cultural differences being bridged by rowing. Not that there are that much differences, but it's great to see the collegiality too. So from the doubles, we'll multiply times 4 and go to the eights for the men's under 19 eights final. Penn AC's B boat in lane 1, Penn AC's A boat in lane 2, TBC Racing in lane 3, CRI's B boat in lane 4, CRI's A boat in lane 5, and CRI's C boat in lane 6. So a lot of red on the beach side of this race course for the men's under 19 8 final, and you can see as it's underway how there is a balance of red in those 3 lanes. And the CRI B boat had bragging rights at least for a day because they did qualify at a faster time in yesterday's semifinals than the A boat.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure there is some revenge that was going to be taken
Absolutely.
or wanted by the A boat. And as we're looking right there, that is the CRI A boat you see in the foreground and the C boat in the background as this boat and the boat from TBC Racing out to an early lead. And we saw that tactic in one of the...
They're going to take a move later, especially with 8s. Crews come up from behind and take it often. But you never know.
in hot pursuit with the CRI C boat in there too. In the 8s on the rowers there. Unlike the sculls, which are very... The men's under 19, about 750 meters from on the water here at Harsher Lake. TBC out, and the CRI B boat in between them is trying to hold on all the way final. So here they come. CRI now has a bit of an advantage over the TBC boat. We'll see if TBC can find another gear and kick it up. Right now, the 1, 2, 3 is CRI A in lane 5, TBC in lane 1, and the CRI C boat in fifth or 6th, actually. But here they come. The CRI A boat in lane 5, pouring it on. TBC picks up the pace, seeing those.
And moving.
And
moving forward.
The 19 National Championships. CRI continuing to surge forward. It's CRI. Here come the Penn AC boats battling amongst themselves, but it will be the Penn AC A boat with a celebration happening in that CRI boat. It was pretty amazing in the semifinals yesterday, but the B boat had 8 seconds of a faster time on the A boat, so
difference.
Quite a difference right there.
Sometimes, you know, although with a day in between, I don't know if that's necessarily the strategy, but sometimes crews will not push it themselves as hard in the heat as long as they qualify to conserve that energy for the next day. Depending on how that heat is going, you know, if they're in second and they have a nice cushion and it's just a heat, and they know they're going to qualify, they might not give it everything they've got to try and conserve for the next day for the final.
Another 8s race on the way. The women's under 17 8s will be coming up after the race after the next race, 3 races from now. The next race will be the men's under 17 4s. Then we'll have the women's under 19 4s, followed by the women's under 17 8s. At the start right now in the block is the men's under 17 4s with the Row America Rise A boat in lane 5 and Oakland Strokes in lane 6. Again, teammates battling for the national championship here at the 2019 US Rowing National Championships. Underway, the referees slipping in behind the race to make sure it's fair and safe. Belen Jesuit had the fastest time in the semifinal, 6:49.87, and Row America Rye B had the second fastest time. And both there's 2 TBC boats in here, 2 Row America Rye boats, and each were racing in different semifinals yesterday to qualify for this final.
Okay.
Here they all are ending up in the ultimate race for the national championship for the men's under 17 4s.
And you were talking earlier about the 4 without coxswain, and here you see the 4 with, and just having that pressure off of not having to worry about steering and having a little coach in the boat to help you. And
a little bit of a security.
yep, you can just focus on your rowing and following and giving it everything you got.
Tied boats here, but it looks like Belen Jesuit and the Row America Rye B boat are kind of going at it. Oakland Strokes in the mix. The other Row America Rye boat, TBC Racing boat, both the TBC boats, all kind of connected here in this fours race. And the TBC boats wearing those long sleeves too.
It's almost 80. They gotta be warm, but like you said, maybe it's a sun guard. And they won that race. They were wearing them, so maybe they have a secret no one else knows about.
They could. It could be a statement too.
Yeah, yeah.
Quite a statement. And it could have been those two boats consist of rowers that were in the 8 that was wearing those long sleeves too. Men's under 17 4 final, racing through the 1,000-meter mark. See those orange boys every 500 meters down the course here at Harsha Lake. Row America Rye, Belen Jesuit, and TBC Racing duking it out on the course right now. Flashing yellow oars of Belen Jesuit working hard. They're in lane 3.
They look pretty close still.
The TBC Racing boat, the A boat, well, both the TBC boats appear to be holding their own too out there in lanes 1 and 2. Smelling the gold medal at the end, and it is TBC with the advantage as we go to the drone shot. It's TBC A boat in first, TBC B boat battling with Row America Rye B boat for that second spot, and Belen Jesuit in between them. This could be quite a fracas when it comes down to the finish.
Yeah, here you have a B boat beating their A boat for Row America so far.
What an effort being made right here. Belen Jesuit boat as well as it begins to slowly forward. Meantime, not to be ignored or neglected, the TBC boat in lane 1 also beginning to make some moves and beginning to make up some ground on that Row America Rye B boat. For the medals in the men's U17 fours, TBC Racing. Here they come, the coxswain sitting up, looking to the left, encouraging. And here comes Row America Rye B charging forward, charging past the other TBC boat, but at the finish line for the men's U17 fours, the TBC Racing A boat will win the gold. And it's Belen Jesuit, the Row America Rye A boat, and Oakland Strokes in that order. TBC Racing winning the gold in the men's U17 fours, 6:45.33. Another scene of teammates running down the beach as those TBC boats were coming down to the finish line. Great to see, Livy.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's
Amazing. Very close race there between second and fourth, just less than 2 seconds. This is live streaming coverage of the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships. I'm Mark Purcell with Libby Charrington here at Harsha Lake on the championship races left to enjoy. Doing time trials for their events tomorrow. Semifinals on YouTube channel. Racing camp in lane 3. Saugatuck and the TBC boats on the outside lanes. It'll be fun to watch what the women's U19s do here. Going through the first 500, fairly even. Look at Saugatuck and the U17 development team. And a good shot of, you see the coxswains there. Jaws a flapping as they are talking to their rowers.
yeah.
Glancing from side to side, keeping up with the competition. Out in front early, it's TBC Racing in lane 6. Quite a lead right now. Row America Ryan lane 2 looking strong. We have the U17 development team. All the boats still fairly well connected, but a big move from TBC Racing's A boat out in lane 6 early on.
I always think, the coxswain does have, and that's where boats, we often, crashed into other boats, and being able to take a 90-degree turn and cut quickly, it takes a lot of skill that I think sometimes gets overlooked.
TBC boat in lane 6 closest to the shore. I would give Row America Ryan lane 2 the second spot right now, but all 6 of these boats within about a boat length and a half of each other.
You think about it, there's a little coxswain head in the end of each boat, and they see each other, and they have that view that the rowers can't.
What a beautiful sight, those boats so close together in this competition. The TBC A boat out in front, the TBC B boat just it'll be interesting to see as they get closer to the final quarter of the race. How race strategies, power, sprints, the coxswains coaxing, how they all come together and what might happen with all these boats. The women's under-19 fours championship final at the U.S. Rowing National Championships. Coming down to the final 300 meters, TBC in the lead by a boat length. Second is hard to call right now between Row America Ryan, the Row West Racing Camp, and the U17 development team. All those 3 boats almost bow ball to bow ball. They're beginning to move forward though and leave the boat from Saugatuck slightly behind. The TBC B boat lagging a little too, but here they come.
You can see lane 5, they've rigged their boat. So the two starboard oars are together in the center, and then you've got instead of alternating them, which I've seen before. You don't see it as often. I've seen it before, but it is interesting to watch, especially that aerial view, to see them racing that way.
Here they come into the red buoys, 250 meters from the finish in the gold medal in the women's U19 fours. Beginning to kick it up, Row West Racing Camp. Row America Rye, the U17 development team, trying to catch up with the TBC team in row 6, lane 6, that had been rowing in the lead for most of the way. There's the U17 development team trying to chase them down right now. Row West Racing Camp beginning to pour it on as well. Coming down to the line for the gold. The U19 fours, Row West Racing Camp with a big move, pouring it on, coming down the end, but it will be TBC with the gold. Row West Racing Camp with the silver, the U17 development team with the bronze, followed closely by Row America Rye, the TBC Racing B boat, and the Saugatuck boat. What a race for the TBC boat. All the way down that course, very tight race. Unbelievably tight with 4 boats so close together. Row West Racing Camp, a big push at the end, coming through and really moving forward. It was amazing to see and feel how much power they still had after that race.
Yeah, to surge at the end like that.
What a race for TBC Racing. Taking charge, remaining in charge most of the way down. The other boats biding their time, but what a finish for TBC Racing. We'll go for the U17 eights for the women and their national championship run right now. CRI B is in lane 1, CRI A in lane 2, Ready Set Row in lane 3, Saugatuck in lane 4, Sydney University in lane 5, and Ready Set Row B in lane 6. They're underway and through the breakage area, so it's a race, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at Saugatuck and Ready Set Row in the shot we just saw. Now a look all the way across. You can see the red boats from CRI in lanes 1 and 2. They'll be on the far side of the course as they come to the beach. Ready Set Row's B boat out in lane 6, closest to the beach. Early lead there for the Ready Set Row A boat in lane 3, though, as they try to establish their race rhythm in the first 500. There's the Sydney University boat. They're in lane 5 in the mix too, but early out. It's Ready Set Row. Ready Set Row, Saugatuck, Sydney, 1, 2, 3 right now. CRI's A boat battling Sydney for that 3rd spot. Then CRI B and Ready Set Row B are battling as well, so quite a sight there to see those 54 athletes looking across. What a shot that was there, Livy.
That's almost when you almost need that tunnel vision, you know, just focus on your own boat and focus on, because it's so early still, and just, you know, let's just keep going with our race strategy and stick with it, because sometimes you can get worried at that point. We're almost, oh no, everybody's together still, we got to push, we got to go harder. But it's almost good to have that. Nope, just focus on what we're doing. Block everybody out for a minute. Just for a minute.
Just for a minute.
Just for a minute.
And then tune them in again.
Yep.
And start rowing hard. The 16th Annual College Fair again taking place today. Opening up here in about 15 minutes or so. The 16th Annual College Fair, an opportunity for rising seniors to meet with coaches from over 70 colleges from across the country. It'll run today, Thursday, July 11th from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Tomorrow, Friday, July 12th from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Program office hours determined by each school. The 16th Annual College Fair here at this year's National Championships. Here we go. That lead for Ready, Set, Row continues to hold. They have a seat or so over the boat from Saugatuck, but Saugatuck is doggedly sticking with them. Third belongs to the CRI A boat right now, with Sydney University in fourth, but not that far behind. Fifth, from what I can see, is the Ready, Set, Row B boat, and sixth, the CRI B boat. But in the middle, a battle between Saugatuck and Ready, Set, Row really shaping up. With Ready, Set, Row just beginning to pull, maybe even doing a power 10 or so, because they look like they have now gotten the lead from the Ready, Set, Row boat, and they only have about a boat deck's length on the Ready, Set, Row. There's a great shot from above, and what a shot of that synchronicity within these boats.
Yeah, and it's just beautiful. I mean, and to be able to see them in that way.
Continuing to move forward, it is Saugatuck. Saugatuck now up by 4 seats over Ready, Set, Row in the women's U17 eights final.
They really are walking, walking right up.
Now 5 seats. Lurking over in lane 2, though, CRI has begun to make a move as well, and they are moving up on the Ready, Set, Row boat, trying to move with the Saugatuck boat. Ready to hit those red boys in the final 250. Saugatuck continuing to move. Still up over Ready, Set, Row. CRI trying to pass Ready, Set, Row as well, but Ready, Set, Row hanging right on to second now.
And CRI is making a move.
Here they come in front of the beach. Saugatuck picking up their rate. CRI beginning to move quite extensively. 500 meters out, began to make a move. Sold in the women's U17 eights. CRI will capture silver. Ready, Set, Row will have the bronze. It'll be Sydney in fourth.
It's fun to see with every stroke a boat just walk. You know, every stroke just walk right up, seat by seat.
What a surge for that boat from Saugatuck. Wonderful job. The national championships in the women's under 17 eights, 647.72 for Saugatuck. CRI's A boat comes in for the silver. Ready, Set, Row for the bronze. In these national championships, we saw the women's couple of quads and a double to wrap up the racing in these U17, U19 national championships for 2019. Two, TBC Racing in lane 3, Row America Ryan lane 4, CRI's A boat in lane 5, and Texas Center in lane 6 for the men's. Looks like the CRI boat in lane 5 still maneuvering into place, and it's quite possible that some of these rowers are just getting to the start line because they were hot seating, where they went from one boat, they may have been racing in an 8 or
That's
a 4
true.
to go and do these, right, Libby?
Yeah, absolutely. And day and just thinking, all right, 1 down, 3 to go, and just not even really processing it. Just keep going. Just keep going.
And I'm always amazed at rowers' resilience, since in many courses you have to row to the start. You don't load in and start at the start. You have to row to the start to start the race, to get in another boat to row to the start to start a race, and you did that. So you rode the course 8 times,
Yeah,
basically, if you raced 4 times. So. Aligning the boats for the men's U19 4 without.
If there's any wind, that can be tricky, trying to line the boat up, and especially they don't have a coxswain to help, and that can be tricky. Even with a coxswain, that can be tricky.
Even with, yes. Yes, indeed. just commented on the hot seats, hot seating, because the CRI boats are the ones that were seem to be just rolling in. So we await the start of the men's U19 4 without coxswain final.
The difference between a start in a small boat like a double and the starts that we were so used to with our eights, and it's such a difference because obviously you have to pick up so much more boat and so many more people when you're trying to get that 8 going from a dead stop versus just a double, and in a double not needing as many strokes, not needing as much and they're off, but not needing that, in an 8 you have to kind of take 6 to get that boat.
4 without, again, CRI's B boat in lane 1, Belen Jesuit in lane 2, TBC Racing lane 3, Royal America Rye in lane 4, CRI A in lane 5, and Texas Center in lane 6. We are seeing some of those steering issues without the coxswain, and not here early in the start. I saw one of the boats, I won't name which one, but one of the boats, it was obvious in that starting sequence that there was one side that was pulling a little harder than the other. And again, that's something I imagine is really, it takes time to develop and get that feel. And I like how you talked about the feel of the boat versus having anything to judge. You really just do have to have a sense of how that's moving.
Absolutely. Just the feel of setting the boat and the slightest little movement and the whole the whole boat can move, and then the feel of rowing itself, just this that swoosh and the click. And
the Royal America Rye boat in lane 4 in the lead. Red, white, and blue with a star from Texas Center there in lane 6 in the background of this shot. The men's U19 4 without. Looking very strong there in that Royal America Rye boat. I think they've been practicing together for quite a while. They're out in first right now with the boat from Texas Center in second. Then TBC Racing, Belen Jesuit, back to CRI-B and the CRI-A boats. Royal America Rye, based out of Rye, New York. We've been talking about them quite a bit here at these national championships. Marco Serafimovsky, the head coach for the women. Alexander Radovich for the men. Royal America Rye, quite a presence here at these national championships, and a club that's only been around since 2013. So great testament to some good coaching there in Rye, New York, rowing on the Long Island Sound and developing these athletes. Great shot. Royal America Rye out in the lead substantially here in this men's 4 without final. Open water of a boat length or more. Meanwhile, battling for second. Texas Center has second right now, but Belen Jesuit and team for the race, the crucial third 500. But Royal America Rye looking really strong. Look at that, Libby. They are really rowing well.
They are very consistent, very straight, very powerful. They're just cruising.
They
right
are just
down.
Cruising well and maneuvering very well too. So obviously some well-balanced pressure on those oars on both sides.
Very much in sync. That aerial shot is so cool.
Really looking down, and you can see some of the mechanics that you don't usually see as you're observing a rowing race. You can see what these athletes are doing in those boats and the effort that they make. So it's the catch, push with the legs, the swing with the back, the pull with the arms. Then you push it all forward and do it again. But yes, look at that. Amazing synchronization. Just that pretty shot. Pretty rowing from that boat from Row America Rye in lane 4 of the men's U19 4 without final.
And they really did just take off with this race. So far ahead of the pack.
As you can see, as the shot pulls out, every one of those buoys is 10 meters, or 10 meters apart, so nobody within 60 meters already.
That's
so
impressive.
What an impressive sight. So the battle, it looks like, is the Row America Rye enters the red buoys 250 meters from the finish, being pursued by the other boats in this race. This championship final for the men's U19 4 without. Belen Jesuit, TBC Racing, and Texas Center were battling for that second spot, trying to catch up. But boy, that boat from Row America Rye looking fine, coming down the lane. (2019) U.S. Rowing National Championship for the men's U19 4 without belongs to Row America Rye. Here comes the battle for second. Belen Jesuit, TBC, and Texas Center beginning that battle. It looks like TBC beginning to move forward. Belen Jesuit trying to hold on to that second spot. A big surge from TBC, and at the line, close to call. TBC may have eked in under the wire first in front of Belen Jesuit. Indeed they did. TBC with the silver, Belen Jesuit with the bronze. But Row America Rye, 6:22:28 their time in the men's U19 4 without. An impressive 15-second win over the field.
Yeah. And that can be the difference of just that synchronization, and that they all have that feel of the boat, and they're just moving so well together.
What a run from Row America Rye for the win and the gold medal in the men's U19 4 without. Fantastic row. And they look like they could go another 2,000 and still win. Say, row towards the recovery dock. Meanwhile, back to the women's U19 quad final. Underway through 750. It's CRI-C boat in lane 1, CRI-B in lane 2, Row West Racing Camp in lane 3, U17 Development in lane 4, Vesper in lane 5, and OKC in lane 6. And hard to judge. When we caught up with the race on these 8-minute centers, they were already past our cameras, so can't give you a good perspective on who's in the lead, though it does appear in this quad race that they are fairly even at this point.
Again, it's so important, just that rowing together and the synchronization, coming together at the catch and the finish, and clean finishes.
And they are fairly evenly matched right across there. Slight advantage, I would say, for the U17 development team. But they are being hotly pursued and stuck with by both Vesper, Row West Racing Camp, and the CRI-B boat. CRI-C boat not far behind. The OKC boat might be about a boat length behind the pack, but the development team boat in lane 4 in the lead right now. This year, U.S. Rowing has again partnered with Captain U as its exclusive online athlete recruiting partner, providing rowers the free recruiting profile and resources for rowing in college. Profile allows you to publish ERG scores, academics, and videos all in one place. You can connect directly with college rowing programs, receive guidance throughout the recruiting process, and search colleges that best fit you. Head to CaptainU.com to create your free profile today and learn more in the tent near the college fair tent. College fair tent should be opening right about now. The 16th annual college fair, this year's national championships. But the quads drag racing down the water for the women's U19 quad final, with the U17 development team out ahead now by about a boat length. Right behind them, the Row West Racing Camp and CRI B boats, with Vesper in the mix as well. Vesper and Row West Racing Camp very close together there, Libby. I really couldn't call which one might be in second from this angle.
That's a tight race.
We've seen how much power and movement can happen in the final portion of these races. So we'll see what happens as they cross the 500 meter to go mark and begin to head towards the finish line and past the beach. The U17 development team in the lead, but being closely watched by CRI, Row West, and Vesper. So here, right off the bow of the U17 development team, looking very smooth and together there. What a shot we have as they come down to the line. Look at that battle with Row West and CRI developing the lanes right beside the U17 development team. The lanes 2 and 3 looking hot.
Yeah, I was going to say, here comes CRI coming up.
50 meters from the end, U17 development team looking to maintain that lead. And here we come to the line for the women's U19 quad final. And the gold medal, the U17 development camp. Hot between CRI and Row West. Row West with their oars in the water. They have it by about a deck over CRI. CRI will be in third. Vesper will have to settle for fourth, with the CRI C boat crossing the line in fifth. And then here comes the OKC boat. But what a run from that U17 development team boat. Quite a run and quite a job they did in winning the gold.
Really nice finish there where they just powered through at the end and picked it up and moved.
Picked it up and kept it going. Grabbed the gold. The U17 development team, 7:01:35 was their time for the women's U19 quad final. Less than a half-second difference between second and third, so a tight race there between Row West and CRI. So the penultimate race for these national championships, the U17, U19, will be the men's U17 quad final. There will be Row America Rye B in lane 1, Conshohocken in lane 2, Oak Neck Academy in lane 3, Row America Rye A in lane 4, Sydney University in lane 5, Y Quad Cities in lane 6. That's the lineup for the men's U17 quad final, the penultimate race. Beautiful day for championship racing here at Harsha Lake. Reminder again that you can see more great racing on US Rowing's YouTube channel beginning on Saturday at 8 a.m. when we will be featuring the semifinals for the elite and seniors racing for their national championships. We've been watching the U17, U19 semifinals on Saturday at 8 a.m. on US Rowing's YouTube channel, and the finals on Sunday beginning at 8 a.m. Of course, schedule subject to change as it is in any regatta should the weather pop up. So No weather here today. There has been a chance of a scattered thunderstorm, but the regatta gods have been shining and smiling upon us, and we've had a great morning of racing. Row America Rye. You see right there in the men's U17 quad final. A pretty shot of how well they're swinging the boat, Libby.
Yeah, they're really moving well.
Closely pursued by Oak Neck Academy. That's the bow you saw in the picture there. Both Oak Neck Academy and Sydney University are up there with that boat from Row America Rye that's in the lead right now. Then it's back to Conshohocken, Row America Rye B, and Y Quad Cities in that order for the men's U17 quads. Overhead shot, you can see how close together Sydney and Conshohocken are, or Oak Neck Academy, excuse me, are, and how ahead the boat from Row America Rye is.
They really just took it just then, just from the switch of the camera angle and continue to. I love watching it from this angle. It's just it's beautiful, but also you get that great picture of where everybody's really at.
Well, look at that Row America Rye boat in the lead. I mean, just how precise they are and coordinated with their catch when they put the oar in the water, their release, and they pull it out and put it back in. Just that was amazingly in sync.
Yeah. When sculling, the importance of those clean finishes, quick finishes, and to be doing it all together, it's impressive.
And I love how you don't see them lift. You're not seeing them lift the oars high out of the water. I mean, when they're doing that finish, when the finish is when the oar comes out of the water, it looks like they're just rolling it out of the water, not even lifting it out of the water. Just an amazing sight, compared to the boat in the lane next to them, where you do see the boat, you see the oar kind of come up. It's just amazing to watch. Row America Rye in the lead with Oak Neck Academy and Sydney University pursuing. Oak Neck Academy with an advantage for second over Sydney University. 600 meters from the finish. The national championship for the men's U17 quads.
With sculling, I had to learn to, I'm still learning to row more with my fingertips, with my fingers, rather than my whole wrist. With sweep, it's a whole wrist action with the finish. But in sculling, it's much more fingers, and not moving the wrist almost barely at all. I think in part to prevent kind of that whoosh with the oar going way in the air, and just nice, clean, crisp finishes and
the subtleties and the difference between.
Well, and you're in that small boat where every little movement is going to make a difference.
Row America Rye, a boat length's lead over second place Oak Neck Academy right now. It's Sydney University holding on to third in the national championship for the men's U17 quads. Then Conshohocken, Y Quad Cities, and the Row America Rye B boat. Yes, look at that finish. Just very clean, very much controlled, and very much together. With the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships, the men U17 quad final in pursuit. Looks like Conshohocken beginning to make a move on Sydney University, trying to deny them the bronze. But out front, Row America Rye looking smooth, strong, and very, very coordinated. So for the gold in the men's U17 quad, it's Row America Rye. Here comes Oak Neck Academy for the silver. Sydney University will maintain their grip on the bronze, and a big push there from Y Quad Cities. It's hard to call. between their bow ball and Conshohocken's bow ball, who may have come in to take that place. So we'll have to wait and see. But Row America Rye, very impressive. And the Row America Rye B boat crossing the finish line and wrapping up the men's U17 quad finals.
They were really close.
As we see the numbers, as the numbers showed up, it was quite the finish there. Row America Rye with a time of 6:25:39 for that row. And it was a photo finish there between Y Quad Cities and Conshohocken. And we're talking 11/100ths of a second was the separation. So very, very tight. Love to go look at the picture and see how much of a bow ball 11/100ths of a second might be. Not much, I'm sure. For the final race of the U17 U19 National Championships, it's the women's U19 inclusive double final. Miller and Saunders from Lake Lelau will be the sole boat in this race, sharing the joy of rowing with all. So with the elite and senior singles racing in the remainder of this national championship, the U.S. Lotman Challenge will get underway. The elite senior singles will proceed to leg 2 of the U.S. Lotman Challenge races as the U.S. Rowing National Championships, one of 3 qualifying events this year. It's a new format for the U.S. Lotman Challenge, and the women's and men's elite senior single sculls. The top athletes will be going head to head for a chance at the cash prize of the U.S. Lotman Challenge. Again, we'll be broadcasting Saturday at 8 a.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m. on the U.S. Rowing YouTube channel with the finals and the semifinals and the finals for the elite seniors. U.S. Rowing would like to thank our sponsors and partners. Concept 2, Filippi, Hudspin, Vespoli, Dreher, Croker, NK, Captain U, and Bucket List Events. Thank you to the sponsors and partners. Double final. The 16th annual fair to open. Program office hours will be championships. It's been a beautiful day of racing here at Harsha Lake, East Fork State Park in Claremont County, Ohio. We're racing, and we have been doing that this morning. Libby Charrington, let me thank you for being here and providing color commentary for our races today. Appreciate your help.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Little insight into the sport as we've been watching all the great racing going on with these young athletes. It's quite a sight to see. Looking across the water, seeing the U.S. Rowing referees who are always on the water to help the races stay fair and even and safe. Thanks to our U.S. Rowing referees for their great work here at the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships.
I have fond memories of being out here in high school and even after college, and whether it was just racing or just out with friends rowing and just being on the lake.
As a famous book once said, there's nothing, absolutely nothing, quite like mucking about in a boat. Of course, you're not just mucking about in a boat on the water
Yes.
in rowing, but
Yes.
it's still nothing quite like it.
That's true.
And that's what this women's U19 inclusive double final is all about, making sure that everyone, despite their challenges, will have an opportunity to enjoy the sport of rowing. And U.S. Rowing is all about that. Quite a program going on nationwide to provide rowing for all, and even rowing for veterans who may be suffering from PTSD. It's been shown that they can benefit from the sport of rowing, and there's been programs that have involved veterans coming back and learning to row. So it's great to see what rowing can do.
That's
We know
wonderful.
how much we love the sport, but it's
Yeah.
great to share that love with others.
Absolutely. And I can see how there's something very therapeutic about being on the water and rowing. Absolutely.
Another beautiful shot from our, giving you at home the opportunity to see inside the boats and see what's going on.
Different angles, just like this one.
And in the women's U19 inclusive double final, the final race of this championship day, another day of championship. Again, a reminder, coming up on Sunday after semifinals on Saturday, the seniors and elites will be channel and catch some of the excitement for these national championships. Coming to the red boys and the 250 meters to go in the women's U19 inclusive double final. It's Miller and Saunders from Lake Lalau on the way to the finish line. Getting those red boys and beginning the sprint. Great view of the hard work that these athletes are doing in that final stretch. Feeling the burn in those final meters. "50 meters from the finish. Here comes Miller and Saunders. The women's U19 inclusive double final. Finish line they go. What a race. Well done. I'm Mark Purcell for Libby Charrington. Thanks again for watching live streaming coverage of the 2019 U.S. Rowing National Championships from Bethel, Ohio and Harsha Lake. It was fun. We hope you'll join us again for the rest of the regatta. Again, semifinals on Saturday beginning at 8, and then at 8 on Sunday, the championship finals for the senior elites.